what it's all about, okay, and also make you understand, why this is important to you as a tester, okay. So if you've heard me mention anything about this before, all right, so this is just a bonus to you. If you have not, that's fine. Now, if you have ever attended any tech interview, right, especially maybe something relating to software testing, you would hear something, they will ask you something like, are you familiar with agile mindset, agile framework, and all of that stuff? You hear that a lot, agile methodology. Have you worked in an agile environment? So you hear all of that a lot. And it's important that you understand what they are speaking to. Okay. So we will be doing that shortly. Give me a second. Let me share my screen. I have to join the call on my laptop. So it will be on YouTube. So what that means is you can also always go back to the teaching and you can always send it to someone. Okay, you can always do that. Sorry, my system is just taking a little bit longer to load. Just a couple of minutes. Okay. All right. So let's begin this session. Please confirm you can see my screen. All right. So Agile mindset and Scrum framework. What are we talking about? The concept of Agile mindset is deeply rooted in the Agile manifesto, and it embodies a set of values and principles that guide software development and project management. What does this mean? It means that this particular concept we're about to understand is used in software development, right? So that's why if you check, software testing jobs generally, you will see something related to that. You see, so software testing. Let me show you something, right? You need to know why we're learning this so that when they ask you a question in your interview, you'll be able to know how to reply. All right, so these are software testing jobs. So if you click on this guy, for instance, willingness to learn, okay, software tester, okay, responsibilities, plenty jobs. I'm not sure why it's showing me UK.
So I'm not seeing your screen, no. Abby,
You can't see my screen.
No, I can't.
Really?
Same here, sir.
Oh, I clicked on stop sharing. So instead of share this window. Sorry about that. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so Tester Solutions is looking for a performance test analyst. All right. Okay. So you can see this one is even saying it's Agile software developer and tester. So which means if you're not Agile, if you don't have an understanding of being Agile, right? Now, so for most of these jobs, you will not see it as Agile and all of that. Usually they ask that in interview. So but what you hear is strong communication skills. You will hear something like that a lot. What do you think it means when you hear strong communication skills? What it means is, are you Agile, right? So you see this job now says 5 years experience of backend quality control, was senior QA engineer. So ability can you see this? Ability to communicate well with both technical and non-technical clients, right? Let me quickly do one practical. Victoria, please unmute your mic.
Okay, sir.
Yes, so in the past 3-4 months, right, during the testing program and now, have you learned anything differently in terms of communicating with clients? What have you learned?
Okay, so I've learned that communication is key. The way you communicate with your teammates and even the developers matter a lot. So if I won't call it an argument per se, but if there is a disagreement kind of, you should know how to communicate properly so that you don't, in quote, hurt the other person's feeling. Yeah, so that's what I learned basically.
Okay, thank you. So, all right. So this is a quality assurance tester role, even though this is an on-site role. So here, the position is automation test engineer. We develop this. You play a key role in this to work closely with development and QA teams. All right. Determine the feasibility of acceptance criteria. Design, develop. There's a lot of automation here. Okay, strong knowledge, familiarity, ability to analyze manner. Do you see that this role is automation? It's purely automation. What they need is somebody that knows automation, right? But look at what they put here. Ability to analyze what they prefer. Ability to analyze manual test cases, and convert them into automated scripts. And able to receive and implement guidance from senior QA or development team members. This is why I've said that if you don't know manual, you see this one that we are still teaching you now. If you don't know it very well, don't worry about automation. In fact, it's like you're worrying about medicine after death because you really don't need it. You don't need automation if you don't know manual, right? So what I was just trying to establish before we go into the testing is why strong communication is really pronounced in a lot of software testing roles, right? You see the strong communication. Do you see it here? Collaboration and communication. Collaborate with product managers, developers, designers to clarify requirements. This thing sounds simple. It is not. And ensure product quality. All right. Provide clear reporting on test program progress. Do you see it? Provide clear reporting on what? Test progress, coverage, and results to relevant stakeholders. Okay. So this manifesto, this Agile manifesto, right, is a list of things that, that is like the emphasis of Agile development. Okay. It represents a shift from the traditional way of planning and building software. So Agile development gives you an adaptive, a customer-centric methodology, an iterative methodology of building a software. Now, that's a lot of English. What we're saying is, instead of going the traditional route of building a software where customers don't really understand what is going on. They're not carried along. The system is not really adaptive. It's not really open to changes. The concept of agile, the agile mindset, right? Everything about it, the manifesto itself, is rooted in some basic principles, such as ensuring that it is adaptive, it is customer-centric, and it is iterative. So if somebody asks you tomorrow, what do you know about agile, the agile mindset, right? Those are the things you want to mention. When you hear customer-centric, it means it is focused on the customer. You are building the product for the customer, all right? So it's important that the customer is number one. It's very important. It's also important that the system, the way the software is being built, is adaptive, meaning it can accommodate changes in requirement. Changes in requirement. That's what it means to be adaptive. So if anything changes, let's say for instance now, if you are building a software that is fully concentrated on, what's it called? What's this thing? The stock exchange, right? And then maybe there's a crash, right? Or maybe there is a global, what they call that? Global depression, or what they call that thing that used to happen to the stock. And there's an economic crash. Somebody help me now. Is it that nobody knows economics? You guys help me now. You know the word. That word for when the economy comes crashing and all of the stocks are low and all of that. What's the word?
Is it meltdown?
Is it? I think economy meltdown, something like that. Whatever it is, right?
Maybe a recession or
recession. That's the word. Recession. So if recession happens, for let's say your team is building something for an insurance company, for a stock exchange company, and then recession happens, right? And you are supposed to study that recession to try and understand how to implement that in your code, how to generate requirements from there so that you can factor recession into whatever it is you are building. It means whatever it is, whatever system you're using to build that software needs to be adaptive, needs to be able to accommodate new requirements, right? So that is why we're looking at the agile mindset. And the essence of agile mindset is, number one, it focuses on individuals and interactions. Individuals and interactions. It emphasizes the importance of people and their communication within a project, encourages collaboration with and open dialogue, recognizing that effective teamwork drives successful outcomes. Now, when I say I want you to work with an agile mindset, right? When I say feel, I want you to work with an agile mindset. What I'm saying is you need to make sure that there is proper communication, and how you are communicating with the people in your team is very important. How you're communicating with the people in the team is very important. So if I'm, you know that there are some insinuations in our culture that makes it, when you ask a question, it makes it feel like you're insulting someone. It's not like that when you're communicating in an agile framework, a Scrum framework, in an agile mindset. It's not like that. Communication is important. And the major part of you communicating with someone is feedback, right? So meaning that if I tell Simi to do something, I'm expecting a feedback from Simi. Simi should not do it and think that I already think that I already know the answer. I already know the answer to what I told her to do, right? So Simi should be able to give a clear feedback. Not that, sir, I don't know. The thing is just loading. I don't know. I don't understand. Right? And then she just gives me something that looks like a feedback, but it's not properly feedback, right? So if you are communicating with someone, another way which people take this thing for granted is when I say something like, Victoria, please, can you confirm that this is what is happening? Right? When I say confirm, even if you have given that update before, I'm not trying to say you are stupid, right? I'm saying this now because this is the way you'll be expected to communicate with your team members in an agile mindset. Are you with me, guys? So if Phil does a test on sign up, let's say he did the test around 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. And then Phil says that I'm not able to sign up, that he was giving an error, he was returning an error and all of that. Then Victoria comes around 6 o'clock to say, please, can you confirm that sign up is not working? Phil should not come with the mindset that, but I already said it before now. Even though you feel like maybe nothing has happened between 4 hours, that's another conversation. But the fact that somebody is saying you should confirm, remember, reasons why you would just go and confirm is, number one, you are a tester. You are not in the business of assuming that something is working. So you've left something for 4 hours and you're coming back and you think that it will not work. So you just assume and say that no, it did not work, and you should not lie. That's okay, you've checked and it did not work. No, that doesn't. So if you have not checked something, right, you should just say, okay, give me a couple of minutes and let me check and give you a feedback. It's very important. Communication with people that you're working with on a project, very important. If we are waiting for Joshua to test and give us a feedback, and Joshua already communicated that he was going to give us a feedback by 7 o'clock, and for some reason, 7 o'clock has passed, Joshua has not given feedback. When Joshua wants to give his feedback, the first message should be, hello team, apologies on the delayed response, on my delayed feedback. I'd earlier promised to drop a feedback at 7, something came up and I wasn't available. However, this is the feedback. I've been able to test, profile is working, sign up works just fine. However, I encountered an error on so feature. Are you with me, guys? That proper communication is very important. Collaboration, open dialogue. This is what it means when we say that you should work with the agile mindset. And you should not be tired of making confirmations to any feature that you say is not working. You should not be tired of confirming and confirming again and again and again. You should not be. So that communication must be there. So now, tickets have been created. I'm sure that some people don't have tickets on the board yet, and they are not communicating. Okay, you are done with your tickets. What I would expect from you is, okay, you've tagged Victoria to review your ticket. Since morning, she has not reviewed it. You did not tag her again so that she can give you a feedback on the ticket. Another thing you can do is copy the link to your Jira, right? This is how you copy a link to Jira. Where is Jira here? Do I have Jira here? Because there's a lot on communication that we're going to be talking about. And okay. So let's say, for instance, I'm sharing Jira tab now. So let's say, for instance, this is a Jira ticket, right? You come here. When you open your ticket, you come here. Can you see it?
I see your screen.
I'm sharing my screen now. If you can't see it, then
I can see your screen. I can see your
your
screen.
network. If
I
you
can see
cannot
your
see,
screen.
yeah, refresh your site. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to my aid. All right, just refresh your site, eh? So if you want to copy the link to that Jira ticket, you copy it here. Do you see that now? Copy it. And then you come all the way to WhatsApp and say, what's the name of that our group chat again?
Testing program 2.0.
Testing program 2.00. Okay. And then you put it there. Right? Go to the next line. Hi at Victoria, please kindly review my task. I look, and I'm seeing it. Now you have escalated Victoria indirectly because now I'm seeing it. And the next thing is I'll be asking Victoria Alpha when I go to review that ticket. Do you understand? That's the communication I'm talking about. That's the collaboration I'm talking about. I look forward to your response. I'm not saying you should come and write letter here. So it starts with my main purpose of writing this. Thanks, right? You can just do that and then just drop it there. Now, the minute you do this, right, this tags Victoria and it nudges her. It nudges her. Before my mother-in-law started disturbing me on WhatsApp. Let's go back. Okay, wait, okay, but you have seen the message I dropped on WhatsApp, Abi? Good. I hope you have seen it, guys. So the minute you do that, that's a nudge. That's a nudge to say, okay, yes, CME is trying to communicate with you that you need to verify that you need to verify this. Very, very important. So you speak with courtesy, you speak in a professional manner. Right? Now, I'm not saying we should not play and have fun and all of that, right? But when it has to do with work, it is very, very important. You see that professionalism is key. The way you sound, your approach, your mentality, it must be professional. Now, when you are playing, when you are joking on the call, it's a different thing. You can joke. But when you are talking about a task, you have to keep it professional. It's very important. So your communication too must be professional. All right. So you must be, don't shy away from having a dialogue. If there's an issue, talk about it. And you need to be able to keep your feelings aside. You need to be able to keep your feelings aside and speak to the facts of the matter. You see? This thing I'm teaching you is a much needed skill. And sometimes it determines who becomes the lead of the team eventually. Yes, because your emotional intelligence, your ability to manage your emotions properly is what eventually, helps you to have a leeway with all these things I'm saying. And by the time you know it, they're recommending you for leadership positions and all of that. Yes, because you are the type of person that will not lose it even when somebody speaks to you in a manner that is derogatory, right? So if somebody is communicating with you and is using terrible words or is using words that you know that is out of place, you don't have to reply in the same manner. You don't. It has to be clear that only one person is mad. Are you with me, guys? It has to be clear that only one person. Yes, it has to be. See, I will not tell you that issues will not happen. There will be issues. There will be things that will make you doubt your competency. Yes, it will happen. And then when you're trying to communicate it, so make sure you're taking a deep breath. Right? Make sure you take a deep breath before you open your mouth to say anything. Sometimes if you're angry and they are trying to ask you something, right? You can tell them to give you some time. Yes, you have all the time in the world. You don't have to reply immediately. You see that interactions, there will be friction in interactions with people. There will be, right? So you don't have to reply immediately. Okay, please, can I get a minute, 30 minutes, 1 hour? Right, you come back. And then you yourself, you can just carefully sit down to think about the issue. Think about the issue and say, okay, what went wrong? And analyze it. What could you have done better as an individual? Even if the person is wrong, what could you have done better? Were there things you said? Words are powerful, right? And they are seeds. The minute you release them, it's difficult to take them back. So were there things you said that riled up the other person? It's possible. Maybe you didn't even say it out of turn. You don't even know if the person has his own trigger. Now, I'm spending so much time on individual interactions because this is the core of your work. This is the core of your work. Relating with someone every day. How do you communicate with a senior colleague? How do you communicate with somebody that is a junior colleague? Right? The communication is different. And even if you're communicating with a junior colleague, you don't communicate with them like you own them. No, honor is mutual, right? It's mutual. And so there's that communication there. So the final thing I want to say is, if there is an issue, if you have issues with maybe a team member, you need to be able to escalate that properly. Don't do it like the way you used to report to your family, right? No, don't that. I want to come and report this person to you. That's how it works. Okay. So you can just slide into the DM of your manager and, okay, I'd like to inform you about something that happened. And then make sure that at every point when you are talking about that issue, you are not, I'll just reduce it. Thank you. You are not unprofessional. Are you with me? So speak to the facts, like I said, speak to the facts of the case. And then talk about, okay, so if somebody is saying things you don't encourage, okay, hi, let me use somebody's name here. Hi, Ejiro. I really don't appreciate the tone. I don't appreciate the tone. And I would really love that, you don't address me that way. I think there's a level of honor and respect that we should demand from each other. And I don't think I'm asking for too much. So if you cannot address me in this manner, I think you should not address me at all. That's a better way of communicating than never, never, never in your life. Do you understand? Don't communicate that way. Not never, never in your life. If you call my name, we're not in the marketplace. All right. So this is a skill you have to learn. And I'm telling you, see, we see these things every day. Some of those people, after 4 years, go and check them. They can't lead a team. You can't, because your demeanor is important. Your demeanor is important. So individuals and interactions, very important. So that communication must be there. Okay, hi, Victor. Are you able to test this particular thing? I'm having an issue testing it and all of that. Okay, Victor says, okay, can we get on a call? Let's just quickly do this. All right. Then you get on the call, share your screen, share the screen, do what you need to do. And that's all. That's collaboration there. That's collaboration there. Now, if you know you will not be available, you're supposed to do something with someone, don't block the person. Hi, Alpha, I know we're supposed to meet for 1, but something came up. I will not be available for this. I will not be available at that time. Can we do this by maybe 5 o'clock later in the night? Yes. And then if the person is not available for that time, you can always reschedule. Same thing with our meetings. It is not a do or die thing. I'm not going to flog you or beat you. The Agile mindset, when we fix a meeting, I expect you to show up because you did not say otherwise. So I will expect you to show up. But if you will not be available, you have every right to say you will not be available. It's not a do or die thing. Now, if it is a meeting that can go on without you, the meeting will go on without you, and we can give you a summary. That's how it works, even professionally. If you're not available, if somebody sets up a meeting and you're not available, you can let the person know, I'm not available at this time. Can we do 3 o'clock? That's interaction. That's communication. That's collaboration. Very important. So you don't do it like, the culture in Nigeria generally, when somebody that is above you wants to do something, the person should have his way. That's the way it is. It's not like that when in an agile environment. It is not like that. Whatever the rules or policies are, that's what is guiding everybody. So just because you want to have a meeting with me does not mean I must be available at that time. If I'm not available, I will humbly request to shift the time to a time that is both very convenient for the two of us. Do you know why? Because if I force my time in your own schedule, chances are your mind is not even going to be in that meeting. Whatever it is you had to do at that time, you will still do it. And I will not be able to get 100% from you. So what's the point? What's the point? Do you understand, guys? So very, very important individuals and interactions, all right? And of course, as you continue in your experience and you will learn much more about how to interact with people, there are different kinds of people with different kinds of madness. Oh my God. Different kinds of people, developers with different kinds of issues. And so there is no one size fits all. So you would expect that me now, I've worked with more than 20 developers across different organizations, right? This last one that I joined, I still saw a different kind of developer with a different kind of madness, with a different kind of issues. I was on a task for more than a month. I did not believe that something like that could happen to me in my life, in my career. I was on a task for more than a month, right? Because why? When we get on the call, the guy's debugging day and night. We debug, we will not find anything. When I noticed that this was becoming a pattern, I had to reach out to my team lead to say, Oga, I don't understand this guy. And this is the pattern I'm seeing, that it was not like the guy is going through issues, this one, this one. Then sometimes he will tell me that, okay, we're almost done. It will just, we'll get on a call. Now, our stand-up is usually by 9:30. But he will tell me that, okay, we'll get on the call 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll sort it before 9:30. And once we get on stand-up, we'll say that everything is done. Guess what? That guy will not be available by 8 o'clock in the morning. He will not, I'm telling you. You will call him, he will not respond. He will not tell you that he went out, he went to the hospital, he's in drugs. I can show you my chat with him. You will see several excuses. And I'm like, why is this guy like this? I'm telling this one now. This one, what I'm telling you is what happened to me from August, September, October. Right. So when I saw that, I say, oh, this is a big learning curve for me. So you see this interacting with people, the learning always continues. Of course, you can learn so much skills in testing and all of that, but you see, when you're working with people, there's always something new to learn. Yes, there's always something new to learn. So so the next time, now, I was so happy that we were able to deploy, I think, ending of November. We were able to deploy and everything is done. The minute that was done, I went to go and meet my team lead that I don't want any task from that guy for now, because I'm having PTSD. Because like when I hear him speak, I'm thinking of all the months. Do you know what it means to work on a ticket for 2 months? Your performance appraiser is already 0. That's what it means. That's what it means. So very important, guys. So you need to make sure that you are secure emotionally. Very important. If you drop an advice or maybe a suggestion and it is not being heard, it's fine. Don't make it about yourself. Don't. In fact, chances are that person is not even thinking of you. They are thinking of their deliverables. Do you understand? Don't make it about yourself, because it will not look like, okay, they are listening to the senior team members, but you are just a junior and they don't want to hear you. That's not how it works. And sometimes you need to earn the right to speak in a meeting. What I mean is, it doesn't mean that you don't have the right to speak, but you need to show that this is why they must listen to you. And that showing, it doesn't come by you overdoing things. It comes by you showing results. It comes by the proof of your work. So when they see you consistently deliver quality testing, over time, when you start making suggestions, they will listen to you. That's how it works. I can tell you this from experience. So nobody wants to listen to the new guy. In fact, because they feel like the new guy does not know enough about what they are doing in the team. And it is just, you just need to calm down and learn. But if you are the type that you want to quickly make an impression, instead of you to calm down, listen and understand the terrain. Like the first 3 months, don't even try to show much. Just understand, get domain knowledge. Before you now start saying you want to start making suggestions, but on the first day, you're already making suggestions and all of that. It's okay. You are giving them a wrong impression about you. Sometimes it's just better to calm down and understand the terrain before you start. You'll be able to have successful collaboration with your team members that way. Because impression is very important. Yes. So if you just get there and you want to show them that you are from the QA school, they taught you well, please just calm down. Right? Because you are not there to show them you are a good tester. You are there to ensure that the product meets up with requirements. So it's a teamwork thing. It's not about you. It's about the product. It must be seen. And don't be shy to take your accolades when they give it to you. I'll take it to your full chest. Thank you. Not that, don't say that. When somebody, you come to meeting in the morning, somebody says, oh, I also want to really appreciate Simi. You know, she was really fantastic yesterday. And she put in a lot of hours to make sure that we're live and our application is currently live, and you know, can everybody just appreciate that? Collect it to your full chest. Don't be like, oh, it's nothing. It's not. That's not how to receive compliments professionally. Don't be that kind of person. Don't just collect your full chest. Thank you so much. If they give you 2 seconds to talk, say something. This is a teamwork. We know that you're Bobo. We know that just like this was a teamwork. Thank you so much, guys. Really love you guys. You know, all of that. All right. So individuals and interactions, very, very important. The way you see your team, the way you communicate, it must be at the highest professional level. If you have questions, you can just note them down. We'll talk about it. All right. Working solutions. The second thing is working solutions. You need to be able to prioritize delivering functional solutions over extensive documentation. It values tangible results and encourages teams to focus on creating working software that meets customer needs. What we're saying here is this. If, for instance, now, I've been using Simi too much. Let me use Victor, right? So if I say, Victor, we need to test this application. Well, we're supposed to be live in 3 days' time. But it's a new application. The first thing Victor should be thinking should not be test cases. Do you know why? Because we're pressed for time. So Victor should not be thinking test cases, test plan, test scenario document, and all of that stuff. You should not be thinking of that. Why? Because we don't have a lot of time to go through all of that documentation before you begin testing. Remember, when Victor tests, it will find issues, it will document issues and give to the developers, and they will give him feedback. So when you are working with an agile mindset, you must focus and prioritize functional solution. That's what we're saying. Then once you are done, your solution works, then you cannot come back to documentation. Now, we are not saying that documentation is not important. We're just saying that one should take the higher priority. And that is always the mindset when it comes to Agile. Focus on making sure that your solution works first before spending so much time on extensive documentation. Very, very important. All right. Customer collaboration. You should be able to communicate with customer and collaborate with them. So if I say Agile is going to be in charge of one of our clients' application, for instance, what I want Agile to do is to make sure that as she's testing, she's giving them feedback, she's updating them on where she is, and once testing is done, she's dropping a document that speaks to the issues that she has discovered, right? And she's saying, okay, are you available for a call? Can we get on a call? That's customer collaboration. She's handling the client properly, all right? And she's giving them the update on her progress. Okay, so the next thing is, after that review meeting, what are the next steps? Okay, how long should we wait before your developers work on this? When should we test again? You know, that feedback is there. And then the minute you're testing and when something is fixed, you're giving customer feedback. Okay, this has been fixed. We're waiting for the next two. Hopefully it should be done in 2 days' time. And I will give you another update. That regular feedback loop is important when it comes to customer collaboration. Making sure that the customer is aligned when it comes to the product updates. And everything when it comes to expectation and requirements that met. All right, guys, very, very important. All of these things are skills that you will need to develop. If you're the type that you don't care about anything, right? This thing, if this is the way you live personally, like in your life, in your personal life, this is the way you live, is you just don't care about anybody, you don't check up on people, you are very nonchalant, indisciplined, it will affect your work life. It will. Some people say they have alter ego. Go and check that. Go and check that those people that have alter ego. How is it going? Right? Because truly, the way God made man, work is infused in your life. It's natural. When Adam was created, Abi, he was created in the garden. It was in the inside work God put him straight up. So when you are, especially when you're now doing what you love, you don't see it as work. You really don't. For instance, you see this thing, if I had more time, I would teach all through the week because I love it. I love what I'm doing. Right? So when you are doing, if you are going to be effective in collaborating with customers, you need to be effective in your personal life. It's very important. And I'll tell you one thing, if you are not going to do this customer collaboration well, it will affect business. That company that is paying you might not be able to pay you again because you are not managing customer very well. And if they see it, they might bring somebody else to come and take over. Now, somebody saying, I'm just a tester. See, I've told you, you are usually the project manager as a tester. You are usually the project manager. You are usually the one driving everybody to work, getting feedback, providing the feedback to everyone and the client, making sure things are moved. That's the way it works. All right. So that effectiveness on a personal level must be there so that your customers will not suffer, so that the clients that have been handed over to you will not suffer. Very important. Responding to change. All right. One of the major emphasis of Agile mindset is also responding to change, meaning that recognizing that change is inevitable. I've talked about this a couple of times and should be embraced. It prioritizes adaptability, right? Allowing teams to adjust quickly to evolving customer needs and market conditions, right? So you are able to quickly respond to issues when they arise. Whatever new feature, okay, we're collecting it and you are updating your test cases, you understand the requirements, you are ready to test. That's how it works, all right? So you remember when I said customer market conditions, when I mentioned recession, anything can happen and it will change the requirement for you. So you need to be positioned. Don't be the kind of person that is always, they just told us to do this feature last week. Why are they telling us to remove it? Or which kind? Don't develop that kind of attitude. Whatever the client wants, the client gets. If you develop that kind of attitude, it will affect the quality of your work. You will not enjoy what you are doing. At the end of the day, you'll be looking for the next place. You'll be looking for the next the day of your resigning from that work. At the end of, you will now feel like when you go to another place, it is better. It's a lie. It's a lie. All of them are the same thing. There's no place you are going to that they are building software. Some might be more toxic than the other, but there is a pattern that all of them have in this Nigeria. There's always rush. There is always rush to go live. There are so many features to work on. It's like that everywhere. It's like that everywhere. So if features are coming in that say remove this, add this, and all of that, be open-minded. Be open-minded. Leave a little and just enjoy your work. Enjoy life. All right? Don't always squeeze your face when you're testing. Don't squeeze your face when you're trying to write test cases. When you're giving stand-up, don't frown. Right? Be expressive. Smile. Like Simi. Right? Hi, everyone. Okay, yesterday I worked on this. That's your attitude to change. So your product manager is announcing that, okay, there's a new feature coming up and all of that stuff. It's fine. Pick it up. Pick it up. Okay. If you need clarity on it, request for clarity and continue. You need to develop a mindset that is open to change every time. I'm telling you, because nobody likes change. The natural human mind does not like change. The natural human mind is always okay with comfort. Once you have reached a place where you are comfortable, you don't want to change from it. I know why I'm saying this. And some people don't know how to hide emotions. They don't know how to hide it. So your product manager is announcing something and all of a sudden, maybe your video was on and you forgot it. Or maybe you even forgot to mute your mic. You just asked your outburst. Do you understand? So very, very important. Right. So now, what we've just talked about is, you notice it has to do with your mind, how you think, how you see work. Right. Now, there's a framework to make this actually work. There's a framework, and we're quickly going to look at that and close. All right. So there's what we call a Scrum team, which is usually comprising of the product owner, the Scrum master, and the development team. Okay. The product owner is a person that represents the customer and it defines product priorities and manages the product backlog. So that's the person that is always telling you this is what we're working on and is always creating the tickets in Jira, saying these are the tasks we're going to work on this week, next week, always defining the priorities. All right. The Scrum Master is there to facilitate the Scrum process, remove impediments. When we say impediments, we mean blockers, right? And ensure adherence to Agile principles. Question? All right. So the Scrum Master is always there to make sure that everybody is following the Scrum framework and everyone is agile in thinking. Do you see that now? The Scrum Master is not the product manager. So if you have blockers, it's the Scrum Master I should be talking to. If you need somebody to review what you are doing, the Scrum Master you should be talking to. Right? Sorry, please give me a second. All right. So the Scrum Master is the person that unblocks you. Now, in your own team, in this our own team here, your Scrum Master is Victoria. Right? And she's also the product owner in this case. So she's the one that gives the priority in terms of this is what the team is working on, right? And she's the one, if you have issues with what your task, she's the one you should meet. To say, okay, I'm unable to do this, I'm unable to do that. If she's not able to find a solution to it, she knows what to do. All right. Now there's a development team that you would usually typically work with, which comprises of the developers, front end, back end, maybe mobile engineer and all of that. All right. Front end, back end, and QA testers. Now, this is the usual setup for a team. Front end, back end, QA, Scrum Master, and then product owner. That's the usual setup for a team. Why is this very important? Then you have UI, UX, DevOps engineer, and business analyst. It's not everything, depending on the budget they have. Now, why am I letting you know these things? When you go for internship, because this is a testing program, it is from this testing program that we will sign you up for different internships. For those of you that they have reached out to for MTN, fine. For those of you not in Nigeria, I'm not sure that MTN will want to work with you because they need people staying in Nigeria. I don't know why, but that's their requirement. But for other people, right, there are other roles. There are several other, don't worry, Dimitri. There are several other internships. You go run from work. I promise you. You are the one that will say, sir, I'm not available. Right? So there are several other internships and all of that. And you will find yourself in teams like this. You will work with developers, you work with DevOps engineers. Business analysts are the ones that usually gather all the requirements and put them together in a document. Right? Now, so there are different events I want you to pay attention to, which is something that we will be doing as a team. All right? Number one, Scrum, sprint planning. This is the session where everybody plans. This is the work we're doing. You plan the work you want to do for the sprint. All right. It have defined sprint and all of that. Okay. Okay, see, that slide is supposed to come before this. So the sprint planning is a period where everybody plans the work that will be done for the upcoming sprint. A sprint is typically 2 weeks, and it is a period of work. So for instance, you started a sprint on Monday, and it is going to last maybe a week or 2 weeks. And in that 2 weeks, there is a deliverable. There's something we're trying to achieve for that 2 weeks. So I think typically we should have been done with my Pocket app by the end of this sprint. That's in 2 weeks. It should have been done. If you are not done in 2 weeks, the team will move on and you will have carryover task. Well, that's what it means. All right. So then there is a daily scrum. Daily scrum is a brief daily meeting for the team to synchronize and plan the day's work. So every day you would have a 15-minute call to talk about what you did yesterday, what you are working on today, and if there's any issue. All right. You guys have not started that yet, but you will start it, right? So Victoria, let's agree on a time that works for everybody. Every day, 15 minutes call. What did you work on? What are you working on today? And any issues? It must happen because when you get that job, you will go through this. You cannot tell them you are not available. That's why you will not tell us you are not available. You must be available for the call. Say amen. Thank you. So sprint review, right? So there's sprint review, a demo of completed work at the end of each sprint. So usually if we were a development team, right, for those in development teams, they will have this, right? If you were a development team, maybe developers worked on something and so they will demo it and say, this is what we worked on this sprint, this is how it is going and all of that. Then there is sprint retrospective. I like this one. So we will have 1, 2, and 4, but not 3 because we're not developing anything, right? So we're going to have number 4. Now, that number 4 is sprint retrospective. It's a period where everybody comes together to talk about what happened in the sprint, what are the things that they could have done better, and what are the things they will start doing better and all of that. All right? That's the sprint retrospective. Now, a couple of things you want to pay attention to. When you hear product backlog, that's a prioritized list of features and requirements. That's on Jira, there's what we call the product backlog. That's where you see all the features. Okay, no, this is a document, sorry. It's a document for the product manager. So that's where you will put all the features and things that they want to work on. Joseph Fraka has been leaving and joining this call. Victoria, please, let's set up that meet attendance tracker, that extension. Let's set it up. It's very important for things like this, especially for your stand-up.
Sorry, sir, can you come again?
There is an extension called Meet Attendance Tracker. You need to download it and then use it to track attendance of everybody on the call.
All right, sir.
Yes, it will be very helpful. Maybe after this call, let's do it together. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Sprint backlog. Because we're not going to send anybody that is not consistent out. We don't want you to disgrace us and disgrace you. Yes, that's the truth. So, a sprint backlog is a subset of product backlog for the current sprint. So, while your product backlog, that's for the product manager, will consist of all the list of features that they want to work on and all of that in a prioritized manner. The sprint backlog will just have, okay, this is what we're doing for this sprint. This is what we're going to do for the next sprint and all of that. All right. Then you have sprints. So that I said, this slide should have come before them so that you understand what sprint is. It is a period with which, the team works on a particular deliverable just to make sure that, okay, that deliverable is ready and they push it to production. Do you understand? So we can say, okay, for the next 2 weeks, we want to work on login and sign up. For the next 3 weeks, for instance, your sprint started on Monday. The purpose of that sprint is to finish everything My Pocket app and then move to another product. All right. In the minute we're done with My Pocket app, we move to the admin cohorts page. Then after that, we move to something else. All right. So that's usually, so when you hear sprint, that's what it means. It's just a period, usually 2 weeks, for the team to work on a specific issue. So developer is building, you as a tester, you are testing. Everybody's working within 2 weeks and it must be done. That's how it works, right? So user stories. So you hear things called user stories. It's a document that is created by the product manager for the benefit of the team, right? And it serves as the foundation for work items. So most times, the user stories help you to understand the product more. For that admin cohorts page now, we have a product document, we have a user story document. You guys don't worry. You will work on stuff, right? You work on stuff that would help your understanding better. So the Agile mindset, coupled with the Scrum framework, provides a holistic approach to software development. I usually don't read all these things. You know now. In conclusion, what we're trying to say is this is the way you should think. This is the way you should operate. This is how we want you to think. So from today, if anybody asks if you're familiar with the Agile mindset, you tell them yes. Now, because that's also the way we're going to be handling you in the testing program. So be confident enough to talk about what you know and how you relate with your colleagues when you're working on a project. All right? Any questions? All of this, we've talked about all of this already. So no need to spend time talking about it. Any questions? So the slide is going to be available for you if you need it. The teaching is going to be on YouTube. Just search for the QA School channel. You'll see. There are many more Agile classes I've had that is on the YouTube as well. So if you want to, maybe you did not hear this one. Maybe I was speaking Spanish in this one. If you go back to previous months, you'll see different ones that you will understand better. All right. Victor, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for the class. So the question I have is this: in scenario where you identify an issue when you're working with a team, and the issue is not necessary, it's not really a bug, but it's something that is affecting the application that you believe should improve the application better. And when you are reporting it, it's not taken seriously. What should one do in that scenario?
Go over it again. Let me understand it better.
Okay, yes. So I said you're working with a team, and from the requirements of the project, the you discovered something that should not be there, something that shouldn't be there, and you inform them that this shouldn't be there, but they ignore it, and you know that it's going to cause issues later on, and they ignore it. So what do you do in that scenario?
So that kind of thing, right? You're talking to developers and you told them something, but they ignored it, have you?
Yes.
See, just make sure.
And also they have the requirement as backup, as they don't need to do this.
Oh, okay, wait. Based on the requirement, they don't need to do it.
Yes, but you know that it's going to cause an issue later on.
Issue, exactly. Those kind of things. You don't see them. I try as much as possible, and I want you guys to adopt this philosophy too, if you feel it's okay. I try as much as possible not to tell developers what to do. Right? So I suggest to them, and at the same time, I carry the PM along. So, but I understand that whatever the PM says is final. So, Victor, what you will do in that case is to carry the PM along. You can suggest to the developer this one. Even the developer does not have the right to do what. If the developer does what you say, then there's a problem. Then maybe what you suggested is very minute and is not really an issue. Right? So even if you suggest to developer will tell you, go and tell PM. That's the right approach. So escalate to the team lead, the PM. Do you understand? Let the PM know and let it, that kind of escalation, make sure it is not oral, like the way I'm talking to you now. Make sure it is in chat, text, or email. Do you know why? When Kasala will burst, all you need to do is take a screenshot that shows the date and time of when you suggested it and it was ignored. That's all.
Right, sir.
That's how it works. So see, this thing you have asked, you have answered is you have asked is a very good question. A lot of people fall victim of this. When they want to escalate, they will just call, and they will be, because the person you're even talking to is also busy, just like you, and might not even remember to put down your suggestion, right? And he will tell you that they can't remember. They can't remember. It's your words against his. There's nothing that will happen. And it will still look like the tester did not discover the issue. Yes, because we are always the first point of call when there's an issue. You're not the one that built it, but you should have discovered the issue. Do you understand, guys? So very, very important. Let's. I like the question. Beautiful question, Victor. Thank you. Any other question from anyone? All right. I think I have another call now. So let's have a wonderful evening. Please agree on a stand-up time, all right, so that we can start taking stand-up. I want to believe that the tickets you created, Victoria, those tickets should have been complete by now. So please remove Loretta. Loretta will not be part of this testing program. She will join in the subsequent batches. She's not available at the moment. She's working on an exam and other things. So remove Loretta and add me so that the review efforts can be doubled, all right? So that you don't have to review everybody. Please make sure you add me as soon as possible. Yes, and we need to create more tickets for everyone. So create tickets for all of the other features for everyone, all right? All of the other features for everyone. Very important. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you. So the link for the 6:15, Victoria.
The call now, check your calendar.
So I check what? Okay,
the test script review.
What?
The test script review, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what we would have now. Let's join the call.
I stay on the call.
Right.
No, not this one. The other meeting link.
Okay.
Sorry, is the test script review for the Pocket Money app or for something else?
No, it's not for the Pocket Money app. No.
All right.
So for the Pocket Money app, that's when we're going to be having daily stand-ups. So we'll be reviewing that one.
All right. So I mean, Mr. Tosin mentioned it was mentioned like where to do the whole app. I thought we're just to do the sign-up page for now.
Yes, you're doing just the sign-up page for now, but like he mentioned, like he mentioned now, he said I should create more tickets for you guys. So eventually you'll be testing other features of the app.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Victoria. Hi, Victoria. Can you hear me?